Hi good people, I trust you've all been well and you've missed our cooking videos as much as I have. I'm coming back again with a chapati video. I know we've done chapatis before. Those were carrot chapatis. Now today we're doing pumpkin chapatis. And this is my pumpkin. I know you're wondering how this can bring back the very yummy chapatis that you've seen. So this is my pumpkin, and what you do with the pumpkin, you just peel a few pieces, you peel and you chop into some chunks, wash and boil. After boiling, okay, Avery is here. After boiling, you just mash or you can blend. And while mashing or blending, you can use water or some milk. In here we added a little bit of milk, then we just mashed. So you can mash or blend, whichever suits you. So, and then of course we have 4 cups of flour. Okay, so in here we have 4 cups of flour. This is the cup that I've used. So we have 4 cups. Then a little bit of it here that is will be used to dust on my surface. Then we have some water. This is room temperature water. I know today we have a different take. We are not using warm water, we're using lukewarm water. It's something we discovered with my girl, and we discovered you don't even really have to use the warm water. Even with just the cold water, you can get very yummy and soft chapatis. And even with this method, you don't have to wait for the 30 minutes or an hour, you know, for your dough to relax and all that. We'll just do the dough and straight into frying the chapatis. Then we have some salt, some sugar, and of course this pan. If you're in Kenya, you know there's such a fuss about this pan. And I was like, why not? I've always been a non-stick girl, but I was like, let me try this pan. Then as I was planning to go buy, a very good friend of mine, Winnie, I know you're watching this, a very good friend of mine gifted me this pan, and I was like, let me try it. And I can tell you, this is such a holy grail when it comes to chapatis. If you can get this, do. Please do. You won't be wasting your money. So let's jump straight to it. So we are going in with a pumpkin puree. So adding it in the flour. And next we put on some salt. That is like 1 teaspoon and a little bit, maybe a quarter. Then we'll add in some sugar. Sugar that's like 4 teaspoons. Then from there, just mix it up with the flour. So you mix up until you get this sand-like mixture. Then we go in with the water. Go in with the water. So we'll be adding water little by little as we need. I bet you can already see why we add in the pumpkin, even the color. You can just imagine just how the chapatis will be. So you just add little by little as you need. And remember, I mentioned that the water is room temperature, it's not even warm. And in this video, we said we are trying to demystify the rule of now that's Lucia's. Hi, Lucia's.
Hi.
How are you?
Yay.
Hey, how are you?
Hi.
How are you?
Bye.
You're fine. Okay, go to your brother's.
Bye.
Yes.
No.
Okay, now and then that's Avery coming in. This chapati video, you really got to love chapatis to watch this one. The interruptions are massive. So yeah, as I was saying, in this video, we are trying to demystify the rule of that you must use warm water in your chapatis. And also, we are trying to check what's the big fuss with this pan. And thirdly, showing you how to do yummy chapatis using pumpkin. I hope I'm loud enough because I'm using my screaming voice, literally. So you just keep kneading as you adjust whatever you feel is needed. So in here we just added a little bit of flour. And is it flour or flour? Whatever, you get what I mean. Yeah, like so. So this is how you want it. It should be a bit sticky on your hands to touch. When you touch, it should be sticky like so in your hands. Because if you make it harder than this, your chapatis are going to be hard. And you really want the soft chapatis. So you're going to cut your dough into small balls like so. Note that I haven't asked you to leave the dough to rest at any point. I told you today we are doing a different method where we're just using the room temperature water and straight to the kneading, straight to the cooking. So the next step that I'm about to show you is what is going to give you the layers. And if you could go back to the previous video that I had posted about the chapatis, you will note in this video, these chapatis will have more layers because of the method that we are going to use. I'm sorry I can't show you my girl. She's kind of camera shy. She says she's not dressed up enough for it. So I guess next time she's going to dress up. So yeah, you just roll like so. Then after that, you add the oil. For this process, it's the same, everything until here, it's the same as the previous video. But now what you're about to do next is what gives you the extra layers. You dust a little bit of flour. Yes. You dust like so. Then you do one fold. Then you add a little bit of oil again. Rub it in. Then dust some flour again. and then you roll it up. I hope you got that one right. We'll do another one just for the sake of you checking it out again. So, and you just roll it like so. What did we used to call these things? Spirals, or what do we call them? Like so. So let's roll another ball so that you can see what you've done there. That's the second one. You add the oil and rub it in. To rubbing it in, you dust it with some flour, like so. Just a little bit of it. Then fold it once, that is halfway. Add some oil. Rub it in. Put on some flour, like so. And remember, this process guarantees some very beautiful layers, like extra layers, more than what we had in the previous video. So I guess the time that you save on the, where you don't let the dough to rest, this is where you come and use it up. But once you're used to this, it's such a quick process, really. Once you're used to it, and whenever you cook some yummy chapatis and some nice chapatis, and you're guaranteed that they're going to come out really nice, the process is totally worth it. So this is how you want your balls. This is the process that gives you the layers. This is how you want it. So from here you roll and you just start frying out on the pan. So after pressing on the pan and waiting for that side to dry a little bit, I'll just turn it like so. Then I apply some oil. I prefer this method, unlike the other one of just getting the oil and just putting it all over the pan like so. I feel this one, you don't use too much oil. Then after that, I'll just turn the chapati. And I'll just use my wooden spatula to just kind of press it on the hot pan in order to get that nice golden color. If you don't have these, I've noticed even there's some spatulas specifically made for chapati rolling, but you can just get these locally made ones. You can also get the silicone spatulas, or better yet, if you don't have all those, you can just see the golden color that I mean. So the pressing is what gives you the color, but don't overdo it, because if you overdo it, your chapati is going to get hard. There are those who can do 2, 3 chapatis at a go, even 4. I can, but I prefer this, especially with the pumpkin chapatis. I prefer this. I feel it kind of gives me the color that I want. Another tip that I could give, if you don't have anyone assisting you, when you're doing your balls, make sure that you cover them with a clean kitchen towel or a cling film, because if you leave them out for so long, they are going to dry up. So even by the time you roll in your chapatis, they are going to, it's going to affect the dough that you're using. So always make sure that you're covering up. But as for me, especially today, since I had someone helping me, we didn't have to do that because it was such a fast process for us. So that's it. Just look at that. So I'm showing you another one. And also that process of drying it off, don't overdo it too, because it's going to make your chapatis hard. So just a little bit, then you turn it. Apply your oil. Since one side is already dry, by the time you're done applying this oil on this side, you just flip it. I was saying, if you don't have the spatula, you can always use the kitchen towel, just fold it and just use it to press on your chapatis. By kitchen towel, I mean you can use this. Just cut a few pieces to what is comfortable to your hands and just roll your chapatis and press them on the pan to get the golden color that you prefer. So like so. So remember the tips that I've given on this video. It's 1, always cover your dough, especially if you're just doing it alone, meaning that it's going to take you longer. 2, when pressing on your pan, don't overdo it. Like, don't just press it so hard. It's going to harden your chapati. Number 3, which is also very important, is how you store your chapatis, especially while they are hot. Mine, I prefer doing it. You can look for something that has a lid. This is how I store mine. I just put a kitchen towel at the bottom, then I start putting my chapatis in there and I just cover it up. And then when I'm done, since you can tell they're already sweating, all the steam because they are hot, when I'm done, I'm just going to wipe the lid off the excess steam, and then that's it. You will find after that, even... Hi Avery, how are you? So our chapatis are ready and done. So this is what I meant. Of course, because of the covering and they're hot, there's a bit of steam. So once I'm done, I usually wipe this, because if you don't wipe it, all that is going to start dripping down to your chapatis. And since by the time I'm done, it's only the top one that is still hot, the other ones are a bit cool. So yeah, like so. Then I'll just turn it. So you can see this is how they look. Very yummy chapatis, very nice color and very soft. You can see. So in case you're contemplating if you should get the pan, I would say just run right now and get the pan, and there are different sizes depending on the size that you prefer. Just look at those layers. Very nice layers. Just look at that. So if you follow this recipe, you're guaranteed to have very yummy chapatis, soft layered chapatis that can even last even 2-3 days, very soft. As long as you've covered them nicely, you're guaranteed to have the soft layered chapatis all the way. Thank you so much for tuning in and for keeping us company. I hope to hear from you. Until next time, thank you so much. Mwah.